Hey everyone, today we're going to be going over the GRAYL water filter. I'm going to be showing you a few videos of me using this on my personal hikes as well as my thoughts and impressions and a little bit of stats on exactly how this works and if it's worth it. So I want to move directly into the cons for this. As you can see, for a lot of ultralight people, this may not be the route you want to go. It is fairly bulky and fairly heavy, about 1.5 pounds without water in it. And I believe it's 11 inches tall and about 3.5 inches to 4 inches wide. So for someone with a small pack, someone that doesn't have a lot of space, that takes up a lot of space. That weight is also a huge factor compared to other competitors, or the weight is in the ounces. I mean, I said 1.5 pounds, so it's definitely something to be considered depending on the type of adventures you see yourself going on here in the future. It is fairly easy to operate. You do have this valve at the top here with an arrow that shows you when it's half out. That way some air can filter in and out as you're pushing it either down or taking it out. Taking it out now, you can just grab the handle and take it completely out, exposing the actual filter itself and the cup that you would fill up with water. So I am going to demonstrate that on some actual videos during some of my hikes that you can also see throughout my channel. So you're going to fill this up with water. This line here is where you're going to fill it up to. Once you fill that up with water, you'll see on other videos, it does take a lot of force to push this filter through the amount of water that you're going to go here. Also, it is a slight dependent on how much sediment is actually in that water, but it does take force. You'll see most of the time it requires me to actually put my entire body weight on it and hold it for about 8 to 10 seconds. That way it naturally goes into itself on its own. It does get a little finicky where if you miss a line pushing it completely down, water can actually jet out of the sides and spray you in the face or get on your gear, so that can be quite annoying sometimes. But other than that, it's tremendous. I don't want to harp on it too long, so another con I will say is it's recommended to change the filters after every 64 or 65 gallons, I believe, compared to other competitors with, I believe the Sawyer Squeeze advertises that you do not need to change its filter ever, with other filters being in the hundreds to even thousands of gallons that it could go through before needing to be changed. That can be quite a con, considering that the filter itself is around $25. All right, now it's time to get into the pros of this GRAYL. So I want to overlay a video right now. This is a trail that I went on a couple years ago. You can see that the water is absolutely stagnant and brown. It is not very good. Using this GRAYL, I went ahead and picked up, filled it to the line that we just talked about, put my body weight into it to actually filter it, and afterwards you can see I pour it out on my hand. It is crystal clear and it is gorgeous. You can see there's nothing floating around in there. It tastes great. It really sold me on using it for other hikes, more day hikes and everything like that. I was incredibly impressed with how easy it was able to filter that, and that was just one go. So take that with what you will. It definitely does the job and it does it well. Do I think it's something good for ultralights? No. I think this is more towards short hikes or even traveling to maybe developing countries or places where you would have to boil or filter your own water. So moving on to the filter itself, I do want to say that this is an incredible filter for what it is. It does advertise itself to filter out everything along the likes of bacteria, chemicals, metals, and viruses. A lot of filters sometimes can't get all of those tags, but that's why the GRAYL is extremely good for what it can do. Obviously, you do have to eat the size and the weight to be able to get something that is able to filter out so many things, but with that being said, I do think that's a fantastic pro and one of the biggest strengths of the GRAYL. So I'm going to leave you with one last video of me doing the Eagle Rock loop where I took this and used it. Again, my experience was very well with it. If you build out your kit to accommodate for the weight, you can get rid of an extra bottle and use this as a bottle. I had an extra water pack because there were going to be long treks where we weren't going to have water. I was able to use this 2 to 3 times to fill up my extra water bags, which was either my hydration bag or my carrying bag or whatever I was using at the time. And then I also kept this full on the very last filter and was able to use that continuously through that 3-day adventure of going through the Eagle Rock loop. And I think it worked wonderful. It was very easy to just go ahead and dip that in there if you can just find a place to to put your body weight on it and just filter it. Do it 3 times. It's 24 fluid ounces, I believe, you can get out of this at a time. So it's somewhat quick compared to other things like Sawyer squeezes or anything that would rely on gravity, where you would have to hold the bag up and just let it slowly filter. You can actually do it somewhat quick. It just does take a bit more manual force, as I said, putting the whole body weight on it. But I will leave you with that. I think it's a tremendous product. I would highly recommend it for anyone that was willing to look past the cons of it being bulky and the weight. If you're able to work with that, I think it's a tremendous buy and well worth your time. So thank you for watching, everyone.